Hey, welcome back to the channel, All Things Business. Al Thomas here today. Boy, have I got a good one. Hey, before we get started, if you have not signed up yet, please sign up and subscribe to the channel if you can. Go to the website and click on subscribe, and messages will pop up, and put your email in as well. Matter of fact, if you can, hit the like button, and please leave a comment. Please leave a comment. We love listening to what our audience has to say from around the world. And if you might want to send this out to several of your friends, that way you have something to talk about. My topic today is standing still. Standing still. Or should I say still standing? There was a song by Elton John, I'm still, remember that song? You know, why is that song so powerful? Because he went through a lot of ups and downs and he's still standing. And a lot of you out there need this today because you're still standing. And a lot of people don't know the adversities and situations and setbacks and lied to and backstabbing that happened to you, but you're still standing, and you have to stand still as well. You know, people think that you need to be busy all the time rather than stand still. This video is going to show you how to use this in your favor, okay? In your favor. By standing still, there's wisdom in standing still. You know, and wisdom emerges. Every time I stand still and think and take time, I get wisdom from that by standing still. And standing still, God says in his word, he says, stand still and know that I'm God. I'm not going to preach, but it's so true. If he says stand still, then we should stand still. You know, because why? We get a lot of downloads from heaven when you stand still and take your time with things. In itself, standing still is very powerful. I use it every morning when I get up, and I stand still before I do anything. I look at no phone, don't do anything, but I stand still and give thanks and grace by standing still. Is powerful. And not only that, but there's strength. Oh my God, I get so much strength when I stand still and just take a moment and think about things. And people are afraid today to stand still. They believe every second should be filled with noise and all types of conversation. But all that noise is a distraction from you getting your download from what your mission should be for the day and the blessings that you could bestow on other people. Why people are afraid to stand still is because, let me tell you why. They think and they know they'll be exposed. Isn't that amazing? People don't want to be exposed to show their true selves. That's right. Your true self come out when you're exposed. And being vulnerable is okay. So many of us got these masks on that we can't be vulnerable and we can't stand still to get our instruction. This is why stillness is the greatest discovery of true self. Let me say it again, of true self. People are don't want to show and let other people see their real self. A lot of time when I have conversation with groups, I tell people, take your mask off that you're hiding behind and show yourself and be counted. Undercovering your true self is like peeling back an onion. There's layers and layers and layers, and the inertia is in there. But when you pull back the onion, that's the heart of the onion. It's like the Wizard of Oz, you know, and they got to where the wizard was. They pulled back the curtain. There's a little guy back there, but he sounded like he was a big guy. Here again, let people see, because standing still is so important. Your walls up because you don't want people to find out who you really are. And I don't know why that's so frightening for people to let other people know who they really are. And let me tell you why that happens. Because they're afraid people don't like them for who they really are. So they make up something that they're not. In other words, they're imposters. Fake signals. They give off fake signals. They don't want to be transparent. They hide behind the true selves with a sense of throwing people off the direction of who they really could be and who they are. You know, if you want to understand the presence of the inner stillness, there's silence in the silence, in the stillness of just listening and taking time for quiet. You know, around my home, I had 3 waterfalls. I love the quietness. No noise, just the sound of water. Because why? It gets you to think. Why? It opens yourself up. Why? You can absolutely hear from God. You can actually hear things that you can't hear because the noise just blots it out. In stillness, there's true wisdom. In stillness, there's great creativity come out of stillness. In stillness, it serves you, not you serving it. In stillness, you get thoughts, and you can redefine some goals and dreams and aspirations and things that you've been working on, because they'll come crystal clear through the quietness of the stillness of your day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't practice it, practice stillness. First thing in the morning, and then give gratitude. But stillness is so important. The absence of external noise is so powerful. And I love my home because it's quiet, it's peaceful, and I can hear myself think. In stillness, you can connect more with everyday thoughts. You can come up with stillness. There's also, you can open up more. It's first thing in the morning, you just open up more like a beautiful rose. And now you have peace of mind. And not only that, you get questions and thoughts and problems solved just like that because you took the time for stillness. This morning, I took some time, and guess what? Conquered a couple of situations I was thinking about through the stillness of the morning and the quietness of the day. Before we go into our day, we're launching through the day with cell phones and emails and things of like that nature. See, the body is always in the present moment, but the mind is a time travel back to the future and to the past. So that's why in the morning, the first thing to do is stillness is so powerful before you start thinking about the past or thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow or today. So with the stillness, it will conquer those things. But your body is here and now. You know, in stillness, you're aware of what's coming up. You can solve solutions. You can flow with abundance. That's one thing I love, the flows of abundance. This morning I got super early. God woke me up at 2:30. I've been going ever since. But also there was a flow of abundance came through that time of quietness and darkness. And I had time to sit down and write a few items out, some things out, do some thinking, and do a little bit of reading. But also in stillness, their belief and your belief will increase in some solving your problems, taking to the next level of where you're at today to where you want to go. God can talk to you. Listen to me, in your stillness. Let me say that again. God can talk to you in your stillness, because with all the noise and distraction, you can't hear a word he has to say. You know, you have a sense of greatness in stillness. You can find the future of your future self in your stillness. You can the fears of missing out, and most people don't understand they have the fear of missing out. But with the quietness, you can solve solutions. And I love being in solidarity because it's quiet. Most people fear the stillness of silence. Let me say again. Most people fear the stillness of quietness. They feel they're missing out on something. Your imagination is one of your greatest assets. Let me say again. Your imagination is one of your greatest assets. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you took out 4 or 5 minutes just to daydream? I do it all the time. Yeah, daydream. I think it was Einstein. That was one of his greatest tools that he would take out through the day, a couple times a day, and just daydream. Let his mind wander and ponder. And also ideas come, also answers come. But he took time to do that. See, most people use that against themselves because they don't take the time to do that. Always look back on the past, but always be pressing toward the mark, like Paul said in the Bible, to your high calling and mark. Because why? In stillness, you can get so much done. Your past is a guide stick or a ruler to measure where you're going in life. And a lot of people don't understand that it's so important to have that stillness. You can replay embarrassing moments in the past and grow from that stillness. Today, I thought about it. Well, actually, it was yesterday. I thought about something I said and did, and I thought about it. Yeah, Al Thomas, you didn't do that right. You could have did better. And in the stillness, I got the solution. I humbled myself and called this group back and said, you know what? Let's do it again. Because in stillness, if you don't let your pride and ego cancel it out, they come up with stories and why something did not work in your stillness, and will also show you why something could work if you work on yourself more and more. Your mind can retain your imagination and life. You know, I always remember every year, decades ago, I'd always say November was November was a bad month. It was a bad month. And guess what? My month, it was always a bad month. Why? It was my thought until I got in the stillness of my mind and I started saying around July, August, and September and October, I said, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great December, great Thanksgiving, great Christmas. And guess what happened from that point out? It all changed. But it took me in the stillness of thinking about, what am I saying to myself? And once you understand what you're saying to yourself, you can change that. And once you change that through the stillness of quietness, you'll be amazed. You'll have all kind of success. So, and by stillness is a weapon against your future self for thinking negative, because you'll catch yourself before you say something, because you took the time out to create that. We criticize ourselves and we're our own worst enemies. But if you take time out to reminisce through your day what you could have did better, and you find that answer in what? the stillness of the afternoon or the evening. In stillness, you can start new ideas, loving yourself, picture yourself happy, state of high alert of being here now. It can change the picture of your whole surrounding. You can start new belief with new vocabulary words coming into your future and start telling your mind what is it you want. But it takes you to be in the stillness of the morning, the afternoon. It takes some time and give yourself some stillness. And I'm telling you what, you'll conquer a lot of things that you had not done before because we're afraid to get where it's quiet and to enjoy ourselves. So starting repeating these words, I can do it. I can do it. I can do what? I can take time every day for a little stillness. I can take out some time for imagination. In Philippines 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Why? In solitude, there's stillness, and there's also peace. Peace. And I know what? Let me tell you a little key. The older I get, the more I like peace around my life. When I walk in my house and close the door, it's silence. I put the waterfalls on. I live in peace. And so many of us live in a house that's full of noise. There's peace, and you can learn something about who you really are. You can take direction from where you're actually going to go. You can have a situation, but you can solve that problem in the peaceless of the solitude of being quiet by standing still. People are so afraid of stillness. Your champions learn from stillness. Learn to embrace it. Learn to bring it in your life. Learn it as a habit and start doing it every day. Learn from standing still. Even Jesus went to the top of the mountain for quiet and peace and stillness. And I said, wow, because he had to get away from the crowds. Because why? He needed stillness. In Matthew 14:23, it says, Jesus stated he went to the mountaintop by himself. By who? Himself. To what? To pray. Because he knew the power of stillness. He often did this. He established the art of listening to the inner voice. In conclusion, you got to do this. Learn and lean on and listen to your feelings and try to warn you and pay attention to what it's saying to you. Some people call it a hunch. I call it the reality of being checked. And in the stillness, it helps me understand so much. And I learn a lot about myself in the stillness. So take time out every day and enjoy every day and take it in stillness. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you something because we live in a fast-paced world with all the noise going on, people getting laid off. This is happening in that country, this happened over here, and the news is all negative, and I don't even watch that stuff. If it's not going to affect my day, if it's going to be that bad, trust me, somebody will tell me later. But I rule all that out of my life. I don't care to know. I care for peace of mind and stillness. And with that, you'll answer so many questions about you, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself internally. And I hope this blessed you today. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I hope this blessed you. Get this out to several people you know. And also, like I said, leave a comment below. God bless each and every one of you. And remember, take time out first thing in the morning before you grab that cell phone and take some time out for stillness. And then what you're grateful for, and then your prayers. God bless. Hope this bless you. Thank you so much. And once again, if you have not subscribed, be a subscriber and hit the bell notification below. And please leave a comment. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.